Hey everybody, we're live hanging out with you. This is going to be a lot of fun. Today we have Evan in the hot seat with us. We're going to talk with him about some of the stuff that he's working on his channel. But first of all, I'd like to welcome all of you here. If this is your first time, welcome to our live streaming show called Video Entrepreneurs. This is a show where full-time YouTubers, we just get together and we talk about real issues and stuff we're working on in our businesses that surround our YouTube audience and our YouTube channels, roadblocks, issues, questions that we have. And our hope is that as we kind of help each other out and talk through some of these things together, that it'll help you better know how to think about your own audience development and the businesses that you're forming around your online community so that you can serve them better and earn the money that's necessary to make all of that sustainable. So Evan's channel is down in the description below. It is youtube.com/modelingthemasters, and his channel is dedicated to helping you guys really thrive as entrepreneurs. He does a lot of training videos, a lot of encouragement, motivational videos, just to help you guys get started and build the businesses that you're working on, not just on YouTube, but everywhere. So the links to everyone who's in this call is in the description below. So go check them out and subscribe to their channels so you can follow along with what's happening on the front end of their channels as you kind of hear about what's happening on the back end here. So today we're gonna talk through some issues and some of his questions regarding book deals and promoting book and maybe even other products and things that you guys have, as maybe these principles would apply. But first of all, I want to thank our sponsor for today and for this episode, making all this possible, and it is vidIQ. I don't know if you guys have heard of these guys before, but they're awesome. This is one of my favorite Chrome extensions, and you guys can go to vidIQ.com/videocreatorstv, and that'll give you a coupon code, which is also Video Creators TV, to get so you can create an account there. Once you create an account, download this extension, you can log into it and look at all this data that you get about any video that you're watching on YouTube. Now, you do need to be using Google Chrome, but what I like about it is as I'm watching like videos just normally on YouTube, I can see where some of their success is coming from, what is contributing to the popularity of this video, and it helps me learn lessons as I'm just watching YouTube about what is making some of these videos work. So here's one, a really popular one, YouTube Rewind, 2015. And I can see, average word count, what it did on Google Plus, what it's been performing like on Facebook and Reddit, how many votes did it get on Reddit and LinkedIn. I can see all this stuff, how much it earned, some score, how many views per hour. I can take the slider and go back in time and see how it's been performing in previous days. Be like, whoa, it looks like on December 10th, it had a big spike. What happened there? And the cool thing is, then I just scroll down a little bit. Look, I can see their tags. I can see information about their tags and how they're ranking for these different tags, and then traffic sources. This is where they're getting their traffic from. So if I'm watching, maybe you're watching videos that are in a similar niche or have a similar audience as you can see maybe these are some other places I could reach out to build a relationship with some of these other websites that are generating traffic from them, where they're being embedded, those types of things. So a lot of really helpful information, other tabs here too that you can check out as well. So I highly recommend that you guys go check them out. I love them and I've used them for a long time. Again, use vidIQ.com/videocreatorstv. There's a link to them in the description below this video, and just exclusive for you guys, use that promo code Video Creators TV and get 30 days for free. They do have a free plan, but you guys get the special opportunity for 30 days to use one of their paid plans where you get tons of data and tons of helpful information, and as well as like a whole dashboard of stuff on their website to help you guys really learn your audience and know how to reach them and serve them best. So go check them out, vidIQ.com/videocreatorstv. So we are going to hop into this here real quick, but I want you guys to do something. We're going to do something a little bit differently than we did last time, and that is you guys tweet me at Tim Schmoyer, and throughout this whole live stream as we're talking with Evan, your tweets are just going to be showing up at the bottom. So you'll see it here in a second, but feel free to tweet me at Tim Schmoyer. And without further ado, one other thing is that you can also download the recordings of these later. If you can't join us live, download them. The podcast audio recording, which is available on iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. So let's jump right into it. You guys ready for this? Hey, everybody. Hey, it's good to see all of you.
Hello, hello.
So, Evan, why don't you just quickly introduce yourself and your channel, and then tell us your question and how we can help you.
Yeah, so Evan Carmichael, my channel is Modeling the Masters. It's advice and inspiration for entrepreneurs who are trying to grow their business. Just crossed 200,000 subs this week, so that's
Woohoo!
a nice
Congrats.
milestone. And today I wanted to talk about product launches and specifically my book. So I landed a major book deal earlier last year with Penguin Random House, and I finally finished the book.
Nice
This
job.
is the book. Single-sided. And so now the process is another year until it actually gets launched into the market. So we're looking at a release date of end of this year or early next year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just trying to figure out, I have a number of ideas, but I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to use my YouTube channel to promote the book, get people kind of excited and build up the anticipation and then launch it. And I think it can apply to not just book deals, but for anybody who's watching, who's trying to launch any kind of product. We might get a good discussion going. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. How do I use my YouTube channel to promote this book that is not coming out like in 3 weeks, but in a year from now, and start building up some anticipation for it?
I think one thing that you've been doing, Evan, because I subscribe to you, is that you frequently mention the process of writing the book. So you've kind of taken your subscribers on that journey of kind of the work you've put into it. So it's not like you just wrote this up in a weekend and decide to pop it up on Amazon. It's been such a progress. So I think if you just keep doing updates, kind of like, well, this is, I talked to the publisher today, just giving people that kind of behind the scenes sneak peek will kind of get them ready for it and excited to buy it when it comes out. And most importantly, make sure they don't forget about it before it's released.
Yeah, I've been doing every week as I've been writing the book. I've launched a video every Saturday, and this has been 30 weeks or so of following me along. Now I'm done kind of writing the book, so I have to figure out what's the process that I'm going to talk about.
Yeah.
So maybe the marketing or like what happens for the next year. I don't know what the publisher is going to go through. But so I love that idea. I've been getting questions from my audience, and they've been kind of following along. So transitioning that to some kind of getting ready to publish the book or marketing the book. That's been a fun process, and I think it's a great idea and to continue along with.
Well, obviously you have a YouTube presence, you have your channel. It's a big part of your business, if not your entire business. And so I think giving those updates, like Lindsay was saying, you've been giving the updates up until that point. Now, obviously there's this lull while we're waiting for the publisher. Once the book has come back and you can start scheduling like your tour dates, you're going to do some tour with the book or promoting it. I think the video is a great platform for that, giving those people those updates. Because it continues to keep that hype train going all the way up to release. And then even after release, right, once it's actually out there in stores, right, giving those updates, if you travel or maybe like, you're in a bookstore and it's like, giving it like a little tidbit on maybe something in the book, like, and showing the book, like sit on a stand, something like that. I think the possibilities are endless with the video, the
Mm-hmm.
medium that you have. And I think keeping your audience engaged with that is going to be huge for you.
Cool. Yeah, one of the things I was thinking of was the publisher actually recommends not doing book tours. They felt like the cost just doesn't justify it typically in terms of book sales. What I was thinking was doing a tour, but also engaging my audience in every city and having them be guests on all of my videos. So like if I do a stop in Pittsburgh, then I'll connect with whoever's local in Pittsburgh and have 3 or 4 of them come on. So if you've bought the book or bought X number of copies or whatever, you get to be with me on that stop and be for a week of videos on my channel. So it's not just about making sales in Pittsburgh, but then also having a means to be able to continue to promote it to the YouTube world too.
How much of your YouTube channel is like the content from your channel is integrated in the book? Is there a lot of overlap, or is it pretty different?
There's overlap. Some videos are directly related. Some of them are indirectly related. The book, I can't say the name yet,
Okay.
but it's
Top secret.
Yeah, top secret. Top secret. So it's about entrepreneurship. Obviously, my channel is all about entrepreneurship. So some of the things that I touch on in the videos are related to what's in the book. I haven't been doing any direct call outs like saying, hey, and if you want more, wait for my book next January.
Yeah.
feels like it's a little too far away. But most of the audience that I have on my YouTube channel will be potential consumers for the book.
Yeah, I mean, so I've published 2 books with publishers. I've self-published 2 books, and the published books, since that's what you're doing, but the publishing companies that did the best was, at the time I was living full-time off of my blog, on a personal blog. This is pre-YouTube days, and a lot of the content from my blog was integrated into the book. And so one of the things that worked really well for me is like making the audience feel like they were a part of the book and I know you're doing a great job of this too, just by like the updates and things too, but I was featuring, and it might be too late for you to do this, I don't know, but I was featuring people, like comments from different blog posts that I have and different people who had contributed different things to parts that influenced the book. I was featuring them on my blog and actually inside the book. And so what happened, the book sold really well because guess who bought it? Everyone who was mentioned in there and listed, their comment, they had a blog comment that ended up in the book or something. And then they shared it with all their friends, so it was a really tight integration between my blog platform and the book. Now your book's already written, so I don't know how that would work with what you're doing with your stuff now, but I'm sure since you have a year, there's probably some ways you could integrate your audience to make them feel like they're part of the book. That's the principle.
There might be something. I wonder if we add a section at the end or something where people are sharing tips or advice, or I don't know. There's something there.
One example that I've actually seen in the past, and this is very, very extreme, but my friend Jason Zook wrote a book and he literally wanted to have the whole thing paid for. So he sold sponsorships on every single page of the book. So that's the extreme. But the example I want to share is that if you bought just a one-page sponsorship or something, they had like this teeny tiny 2-line ad in the footer. So maybe there's some competition you could still do with there being time left for the actual book to publish, of having people in your communities like Twitter handles like posted in the footers or something like that. There's ways to use that space that would be highly appropriate in this case because it is YouTube and it's all about community. So if there's some way to give back to them in print, that would be cool. My initial thought when you brought this topic to the table was just wondering like how you might build a book task force within your audience. So although it seems sort of tired to talk about the fact that you just wrote a book, it's probably not going to come out for another year, there might be people that are really like, Evan, I'm going to help you pimp this book out and would want to join like an email list for those special updates of like, tell me when there's something to tweet, tell me when there's something that we can rally everybody else around. Really like the elite book promoters in your community that are like, no, I want updates by the minute of the progress of this book, and I'm happy to let my community know about it. You do have those diehards that will go to bat for you in your community, and pretty much any entrepreneur I've ever met does it that way and says, hey, do you want to be on my book promotion squad? And it's just an email list that's got tailored asks of how they can support you in this process in the month or in the year going forward, where it doesn't feel as weird to you to promote the book because there are a group of people that specifically asked for that book promotion.
That's a cool idea. I like the footer too. I wonder if there's something we can do there. It's good.
And that sounds a lot like a Kickstarter campaign, and that's a lot of the reason why Kickstarter works so well is because the people who are most passionate about it are the ones who are actually helping to promote the book, the film, the video, the whatever.
Absolutely. And I see the Kickstarter format happening in book promotions nonstop. Gary Vaynerchuk is a great example of this. He's getting ready to sell his book. He's saying, hey, I'm getting ready to trade pretty much the entire farm, depending on how many books you want to buy. And that might be another pitch for your publisher in terms of what a book tour actually looks like. Well, if there's somebody in Hoboken that wants to buy 1,000 books and that's enough for you to stop by, and then you build a whole meetup around it, you'd be surprised how many people you may find that will do that. If you got 3 and you had 3 stops on your tour, that's more than 0. And I think your community would be happier with 3 than 0. But I completely understand the cost issue with your publisher. You have to keep that into consideration. But if you present it as a revenue model rather than a cost and expenses, that you're going to help everybody.
Yeah, I love it.
Also, for a nuts and bolts quick tool, quick tip, and this goes back to Tim, the sponsor of this week's show, vidIQ. They also have, with that, you could run a campaign description. I'm sure you're probably aware of this, where you can pre-pin the description in all of your videos to anything that's timely. If you have an event coming up, or a book signing or something, so that would be at the top of every single description. And I found that to be a really helpful tool.
Yeah, one thing to be careful with that, though, is if you have videos that are already performing really well in search and you update the metadata, that could, reset Google's, view of it and impact how it's performing, as well. So
right.
I've only
used that for like a few days at a time, and then I pull it off if some event is happening.
I assume that, Evan, that you have like some ideas of how you're going to have like a whole series of content for your channel that relates directly to the book, right?
Yeah, there'll be some videos that will come out that'll promote it. The bulk sales idea that Amy was talking about is definitely a part of it too. Figuring out then what the bonuses are. So like if you buy 5 books, you get this, and 25 books, you get this, and 1,000 books, you get this. So I have to figure all of that stuff out and the timing too. But Gary Vee is a great example. I know there's a number of people who've launched books on Kickstarter, so those are good ones to model as well. So yeah, there'll be definitely more timely YouTube content about the book beyond the weekly update. But again, since I'm so far out now, I don't think people are like putting on their deadline on their calendar. January 15th, buy the book.
It's on yours. Yeah.
It's on mine.
And do you have, or if you don't, you could use the next year to work on this, just making connections with other, like there's tons of book YouTube channels out there that just review books. You should start building relationships with those creators. They have like little book clubs on their channels, Facebook groups, Facebook pages, and so you're kind of thinking of it more like a media blitz in that sense. But because you're a YouTuber, you probably have like an in, some of those people who are also like have big book YouTube audiences, and I could see them wanting to interview you, talk with you, and you can make it like a great collaboration of sorts too.
Cool, I like that. One of the things I was thinking of was connecting with other authors, business-related authors, entrepreneurship authors, and having them on who have a YouTube channel too, and having them on my channel. And then once I launch, I could go on their channel. Mm-hmm. I didn't think about the book channels though, so that's cool too.
Have you seen some of that? That's like a whole community, like the whole niche on YouTube, or just book reviewers and book discussions and stuff.
Yeah, book club outreach is a really, really great idea, especially in your particular niche. That's definitely a big one. I don't think I would miss that. And the other thing is with this idea with the task force thing I mentioned earlier is another way to just get more ideas and find out what other people want to do to help you sort of get the word out over the next year. Are you planning on scheduling sort of like your own like press junket in terms of like podcast interviews and things like that?
Yeah, I think it's a combination between myself and the publisher. They have their own media list. I have my own media list. My connections are much more online, although I've done like New York Times, Wall Street Journal, all that stuff, but they are much more rooted in that world, and I'm much more rooted in the online world. So I don't know exactly what the buildup is going to be. They've done this X number of times, so I'm kind of listening to them on the timeline and the process. I'm sure that'll come as we get closer to the launch and release. But yeah, the more I can do now to build up my list, my group of people who are curious about it, and I have them a guest on my channel, or I help them out some way, then it's easier to have a bigger pool to reach out to come launch time.
Yeah, I mean, and you might even want to consider like doing that outreach in terms of like podcasts, your online contacts, or even their online contacts, maybe ones that your publisher isn't going to really touch, to start just getting that scheduled, because you can always do those interviews, 2 or 3 months out. I've had an interview in the archives for a couple months for somebody's book Pat Flynn's book comes out next week and I'm not allowed to publish it till Friday. So where you can kind of stack those up before they're going to have you on the go in more real-time promotion, real-time mainstream promotion, you could be kind of backlogging some podcast interviews and just let those people know, like, you know, thanks so much for supporting. And, you know, here's the date when, if you could publish it this date, that would be ideal, and sort of go from there. I find it helpful when you kind of can just outline that time for yourself rather than trying to, if you wait too long, you end up scrambling, then your publisher wants you to appear in places that are more important. So if you can get a lot of those logs taken care of and just let people know the ideal publish date is, which is probably the week before your book launches, then at least you've scheduled something, you know, 3 months out from that and it's all done.
Right. That's a good tip. I like it.
How about doing something like, because I know probably the money going into promoting the book is coming on the publisher's end. So you probably don't want to invest too much on that. But if you did something like maybe promoted some of your videos with YouTube ads, maybe made a new channel trailer where it really showed you not only as an entrepreneur coach, but also as having that book. So people, no matter whether they wanted the book or they just wanted to get some tips for their business, it would direct them to subscribe to you or join your mailing list so that they're going to be there while you're talking about it. And you can kind of catch them in your, you know, big sales funnel. So they'll either come to you to buy the book or just to hang on for the ride and to watch your videos. So you're not just putting all that money into promoting the book. You're actually going to gain subscribers so you can continue to earn off of that investment. I've never done the promoting the videos through YouTube ads, but it seems like this might be an excellent opportunity to do that.
Yeah, I wonder if there's an easy way to track that. I've done a little bit of promoting my channel through ads, and I could get views on a video, but they never converted well to subscribers on a channel. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I haven't had enough practice. Everything I've done has been organic.
Yeah,
I like the cattail showing up there. I mean, I'll probably end up for that time when it launches doing something with the book trailer, the channel trailer, having the book in there. I can add cards to the videos and that kind of stuff across my channel. The advertising would be interesting. I was thinking maybe along the Facebook route, because you can target people really specifically, you know, entrepreneurs in this city, you know, before I come, it's easy to market to them. YouTube, I haven't considered it. So it's interesting, you know, put on the radar.
Could you, I've seen other people do this in different forms, but like for the actual launch, just do a full out live stream for like, you know, 12-hour live stream or something like that, where you've got the whole thing programmed, scheduled. You got other entrepreneurs who are coming on. You know, it's just like this big. I don't know if you want to do 12 hours, but you know, like a big event that you're going to do live to kind of push and plug it. Personally, and I don't think it's going to be a surprise to you, but when I do live streams that revolve around a product or something that I'm selling, it's like one of my best sales times. You know, there's something about like the live interaction, like he's answering my questions. You know, maybe you bring on other entrepreneurs or successful people that, you know, you're featured in the book or whatever, and that could maybe you look good too. But the goal is to like do a really big push to get as much traffic, as many people to that kickoff event, launch event as possible. As opposed to just doing like a local, you know, launch party, something like that, you know?
Yeah, I think anything I'll do will probably be mostly online, as opposed to even the book tour would be like, let's publish this online as opposed to just local area. And I love your live. I mean, I remember when you hit your 100,000, you did a live stream and you had some other launch and you did a live stream. And so,
I don't do it very often because it's a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
It is. It takes a lot of work, but all in the front end, all the promotion, all the communication, getting it on people's calendars is really hard to do. So I don't do it that often, but it can be really valuable. What is the main problem or question that, you know, the main problem the book is solving, the question that it's answering, just generally speaking? Here's your plug. Go ahead. Go for it. No, I'm trying to think of like other avenues that would be, you know, helpful for you as far as content for your channel and things like that. But
yeah, so I can only talk in generalities, unfortunately.
Okay.
You know, publisher. Gotcha. But it's for entrepreneurs, for people who are starting a business or who want to start a business. There's a lot of tools and techniques and case studies in there to help you do it. So
okay.
if it's a channel around entrepreneurship, it's going to be a good fit. If it's something, if it's a makeup channel, then, I'm sure some people there want to be entrepreneurs and have ideas, but it may not be a good connection.
Well, there's this thing called Video Entrepreneurs that might be a good collaboration for you. Maybe we could, you can check that out sometime. No, serious though. Like seriously, like we could do a collab. And I know there's plenty of other people who have audiences who maybe not like, I'm not teaching you exactly just how to, be an entrepreneur. But there's plenty of people connections even in this group and people watching and listening that would be good connections. So if you want someone to like, hey, I would love to promote your book to my audience, someone's saying that, Evan, where can they reach out to you?
Just look me up, Evan Carmichael, on YouTube, and leave a comment. We respond to all comments on the channel, so leave a comment. Evan
is hardcore about his YouTube comments in a good way. It's awesome. Cool. And where would people find more information about the book when it gets closer to launch?
The YouTube channel. I have a newsletter list too, but the easiest way, if you're not familiar with my stuff, the easiest way is to come to the YouTube channel, digest a few, see if it's a fit for what you're trying to do.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, Evan. I hope that some of this has been helpful for you guys. Any other last thoughts or notes for Evan real quick?
Excited for you.
Evan, do you have any goals for the next time when you meet up here in the hot seat? When was that, 6 weeks, Tim?
Yep, every 6 weeks. Good call, Steve.
Where do you think you'll be in the process with your book at that point?
Putting me on the spot, Steve. Come on, bro. I'd like to get a better handle on the promotion side. I'm right now, actually the biggest thing in terms of the book is this has gone out to 20 people to review, and some pages have to get cut. And so by then I should have it all kind of whittled down to a final version. That's the most important thing before thinking about the marketing side yet. So that hopefully is done by the time we connect next. And a few more ideas on the marketing side. So cool.
Yeah. I mean, I would just talk about it a lot. I mean, you know this, you talk about it a lot in your videos. Your content is revolving around the book. And it's valuable content, you're not just like giving 1 point and then go buy my book for the other 3 points, but you're giving valuable content, but, just constantly integrated into your stuff. And I think that's what will just keep it moving over time, especially if you put it in these evergreen type of content that are just gonna be always searchable, people always be finding. That's what works for me anyway. So
cool. Well, thanks for the input, everyone. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And everyone just, oh, go ahead, Lindsay.
Oh, well, you have so many videos, Evan. I can't keep up with how much stuff you put out, but that's a great thing because people can get the book to get the distilled, concise, best of the best gems of your input. So, for those people that would love to watch all, 3,000 videos you have, they can get it in a book. And I think that's going to be a big selling point, especially when you think of how many videos you're going to have by the time that book comes out.
Yeah, cool.
Well, the rest of you guys, this is your first time here. We'd love to have you join us every single week. We're going to be doing this, just to help you guys out because we really believe that a lot of you guys have messages that need to spread and the world needs to hear. And so everything that we do here hopefully revolves around helping you guys do that.